Got to get it, Papa. Well, here I am. Oh, here I am. And I'm standing here in Houma on the corner, and I'm surrounded by all kinds of guns and jets and stuff like that, because I'm gonna try to go in here. Yes, it's the Regional Military Museum, and it looks like a pretty big deal over here, which is pretty cool. Well, I just walked in and paid my admission over there, and they told me that there's a special exhibit about the USS Kidd, which we just saw from a distance. If this looks familiar, that's a model of it. And it should look a lot like the real one that's out there, except without the cranes and the fence and stuff in the way. But this is it. Since it's a visitor here in town, they dedicated some space to it. So that's pretty cool. Before we even get inside, there's a few things. Here's some local veterans. Information and portraits. And here's some information about communications technology, including a Morse code telegraph. They said it still works when kids come in. They can do the tick 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 thing, and you can spell your name here. If you don't know how to spell a Morse code, freeze that and look at that. You could find it, find your name. And these are all sorts of old telephones and communications equipment. You see the secret Look Dat headquarters still has one like that. That's pretty much all we have there, but it's okay. It still works. Well, kind of. And there's a switchboard where you pull those little wires out and you plug that in, and you unplug that, and you plug that in and connect people. And that's how that works. See? But yeah, it's a self-guided tour. And oh, you can also yell in here and yell at your friends, and they can hear you in the other room. I guess it's right. It would pop out over here. Oh wait, I think it does go. It comes through. Oh, it goes up there somewhere. So there you go. But yeah, it is a self-guided tour. They got all kind of stuff. They pointed out a few things in particular to me, and I'll mention those. Here's some arms and armaments for you. Not Christmas ornaments. Those are different. Christmas armaments look kind of like those down there, but these are regular armaments. Over the years, and some different medals from different events and wars and actions and things. But let me whirl around in a circle and get you dizzy, and we'll look over here. This is just the first gallery, and there's some pretty cool stuff in here. And we're going to go in and look at it. Starting way back with the Civil War. This is some Civil War information and artifacts in here. And I'm looking at the back of it in this cabinet, but we'll go around and see that. We'll try to stay in order here a little bit. Let's see. Yes, here's where we are. The Civil War. 1861 to 1865, in case you didn't know. The War of 1812 was completely different. It was not the Civil War. And some people seem to be confused about that and want to say stuff from the War of 1812 was Civil War, and it's not. So anyway, and there's a Johnny Reb guy back there from the south, because he has his gray uniform. And I gotta watch out because they got a secret cannon poking out that can shoot me if I get all crazy in here. But I'm not gonna do that today. And there's a little miniature cannon. Look, here's my hand for scale. Whoa, wait, here's a real cannon. And one thing about this museum is it's all a work in progress. They keep getting new things, new items, new artifacts, things are donated. And things just keep getting added, so you never know exactly what you're gonna find. There'll always be something new hanging around the corner. And I can see some G.I. Joe guys back there. Look at them. Oh wow. And look that. This is a memorial car in honor and memory of those who served. Thank you for your service. And it's all names of people who have served in the various wars over the years. Well, that's pretty cool. There's a lot of names. A lot of people. Let's go around and just look. And in case you were wondering, it is a real car. If you can see inside there. Kind of hard to see. But like I said, they have things from different wars, and one of them is this. And I think we might have seen one like this at another museum, military museum, but this was a training airplane. Here's my hand for scale. I might be doing that from time to time. But yeah, it's like they would lock you in there, and it was closed up. You wouldn't open like that, but they wanted you to be able to see all the stuff inside. So they'd lock you in there, and then they'd make you pretend to fly around. It was like VR without the V. If that makes any sense. But you can see all the manual controls and stuff. Right up in there. And see the top of it was hinged, so they'd flip that open and they'd put you in there and slam it down on your head. Ooh, and it has a fan. I guess it would make it, well, probably cool it off because it was closed up. That's probably what that was for. I didn't think it would supposed to make it feel like wind was blowing on you. Yeah, I think it's just to keep it cool in there. But that's the foot pedals for the rudders and stuff. And let's go around to this side, and you can see that's where you would sit. But all the flaps and everything would really work, and the rudder would move and stuff like that. And I'm sure it would make sounds like the engine running and stuff, because there was a big thing in here. Altitude tank? I don't know. Course corrector. It's pretty fancy. But here's the fanciest thing of all. This airplane right here. It's kind of jammed in here. But does anyone out there recognize this airplane? If you're old enough, you might. But on the door, well, it's not even the door, on the side here is a little hint as to what this airplane is. Here's another hint. Yes, this was Eisenhower's Air Force One plane. It's a little different than the kind of things they use now. They have a lot of information about it available, including there's a book which you could probably look that up, and it talks about all the Air Force One planes and all that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, it did have 2 wheels, so you could have a pilot and co-pilot and trade off and stuff. And there's a, it's kind of hard to see him, but way in the back there, watch, the giant finger's going to point to him. There's Ike himself, or a picture of him, as he would have looked inside the plane. Well, that's pretty cool. And in case you didn't remember, this is a little information about when he was president and all. And this is kind of interesting picture because you can see how crowded it is to get out of the door on the plane. They don't have that problem anymore. The planes are a lot bigger, but it didn't matter because he really enjoyed flying around in it, as you can see. But let's look at the actual door that he was popping out of, because that's it right there. That's the door right there where he was popping out. And that's the engine right there. So, and you definitely don't want to walk to the front with it if it's still running, because that propeller comes down right along the side. But here's something else. Look here. Here's a fancy car. It's a Packard, in case you didn't know. They don't make those anymore, by the way, as far as I know. But these were pretty fancy back in the day. And according to the lady that I talked to, somebody called up one day and said, "Hey, I got a car in my shed. Y'all want it?" He asked a couple of questions and said, "Well, as a matter of fact, we do want it. We can put it in our museum." And I'm not sure. I don't think this has ever been restored. I think this is all original. Or there might have been some minor work done to it, but guess who rode in here? I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. And there's the seal of approval. But Packard's is a very high-end car and was used as limousines a lot of times. They had extended versions and stuff. And this one, if you can see in there, oh look, there's a ghostly hand moving around. But yeah, if you can see in there, see, that is the back of the front seat. And way back here is the back seat. There's plenty of foot room. So it's very roomy back there, very comfortable. And it's appropriately nestled under the wing here of the Air Force One plane. See, 1940 Packard. Look that. And let's see, we have a few other odds and ends back here. There's some boat. These aren't boats, by the way, they're ships. These are ship models, including this big old model that somebody built with their very own hands. It was built by Carrie Swear from Houma. A lot of shipbuilding goes on around here, including model ones. Here's my hand for scale. I don't know how many more times I'm going to do that, but I will do it some more, so get used to it. But they have some These are actually Japanese aircraft carriers there. Somebody was into building the Japanese versions. Here's a little one with some, they're under attack, I believe, on the Akagi, and he's getting blown up. See? That's a sound effect. That's just a sound effect. It's not really blowing up right now. But that's pretty much what it looked like when it did get blown up. Because this guy dropped a bomb right on the middle of it. Hiya! And right around the corner from the Packard is a great big model of a German tank. And I'm not sure, I think that's slightly larger than G.I. Joe size. And watch, guess how I can tell? Here's my hand for scale. So you can see that's pretty big. And very detailed. And look, there's a little one riding on top. They didn't really do that, by the way. Somebody just put that up there. But yeah, look, you can see inside. Look that. But I think they turned it, the turret's supposed to be facing the other way, but I think they turned it this way so people wouldn't run into it and stuff, because the muzzle sticks out pretty far. And over here is the infamous weak point, where if you had to shoot him, it was best to try to shoot him in the behind. Because it was weak back there. The armor was weak. I mean, yeah, that's how the Germans made it. So there, you get what you deserve, I guess. But that's pretty cool. And here's a few World War II era weapons. And these, I believe, are all German. Yeah, these are all German. The rifles. Pretty big machine gun there. That would do some damage. And then the little famous one that a lot of people recognize, because I think they got some of those and turned them into Star Wars blasters, but that's the MP40. Pretty decent design back in the day. And a Luger pistol. And there's a holster. A few other items here. And German memorabilia. And this is the way to the big gallery. Galleries B and C. And here they are. And this is apart from outside. I saw how big it was. But there's a lot of space in here and a lot of stuff. Wow. That's like a drone thing, I think. There's a lot of stuff, and a very big American flag there. And they identify the eras and the wars on these different posts around the room. But God, this is cool. There's a bunch of people up there looking at us. Well, let's see what's going on over here. This must be, yeah, World War I era here. Oh Lord, I'm walking straight into a gun. I don't want to get hit by that. Me. And here's a shell casing that would have come out of here. It would have popped out. No, the shell casing did not pop out right here. It popped out in the back. But this is it. And look, here's my hand for scale. So you know just how big the shell casing was. Oh, and this is a German gun, a Minenwerfer. a mortar. It would shoot up in the air, and then it would have to fall down somewhere, so they try to make it fall on their enemies, which unfortunately was us. So, oh wow, there's a guy taking a nap over here. Looks like Pappy. Pappy can get his hands on a hammock, he's gonna take a nap just like that. Think how comfortable that must have been. Wow. There's a World War I helmets. The Germans pretty much liked that design back then. Even after the First World War, they didn't change much on it. They kind of streamlined it a little bit. Oh, and here's a G.I. Joe guy in his World War I outfit with his gas mask and everything. And typical uniforms. That's back when they got to wear cool pants that poked out on the sides. I'm not sure what the advantage was to that, but apparently there was an advantage. Plus they had like 1,000,001 laces to lace up your boots. So if you wanted to be mean to your friends, you would pull the laces off so they'd have to lace it all back up again. It's a lot of stuff up here. It's one of those things, I don't want to show you everything because first of all it would take too long, but also you need to come see this for yourself. Plan a trip down to Houma and come see all this. There's a lot of stuff here. That's a German motorcycle and sidecar right there. It's a BMW, if you can see that little symbol on the gas tank. They don't like people riding on them, but it had the little saddle seat, and then there's a back one with an emergency handle in case your partner was driving too fast. He was trying to make you fly off. You could hang on to that and maybe not fly off too far. Or you could ride in there, in the real seat, and be all comfortable. There's some big ship models too. A lot of cool stuff, including a giant missile laying on the ground. Don't want to bump into that. Oh, there's something else right here I don't want to bump into. But we'll find out what that is when I go around the corner. There's some aircraft engines. Oh, look at that. It's a genuine Navy Cushman. It's a three-wheeler. Let's go around and look at it. It's got a cool little box so you can put your friends in there and ride them around. But look that. That's riding in style. Plus it has a little horn on it. Look, you can honk on and get people out the way because you're on official Navy business. Well, didn't think I'd see anything like that. I've never seen anything like that, actually. Yeah, we have this guy from World War I, and he's standing up on this Model T pickup or truck, or some people used to call a hack. Well, that's what it would have looked like back in the day. But that's pretty cool. You don't see a lot of World War I stuff around. It's usually newer than that. But that was like a delivery van, sort of. So that, I believe, is a Plymouth. Yep, 1941 Plymouth staff car. Oh, and there's a fancy guy inside. There he is. Salute. Oh, and look at this. There's another three-wheeler. There's no Army version. There's got a closed-in box, so you can put your friends in there and then they pop out and say surprise when you get to your destination. Army people like to do that kind of thing. Pop out and surprise people. Well, that's a cool diving suit. I don't think there's anybody in there. No. It's just empty. Like my head. But he's got his big giant heavy boots on so he doesn't float around. He just sinks to the bottom until they pull him up. There's a statue of one. Deep sea diver. And some people might not know this, but back in the day, Houma was the site of a blimp base for the Navy, where they had the big hangars, and it was a blimp. Actually, it was here it is. If I just read the signs, it's the Houma Naval Air Station. Because they were concerned about, and rightly so, they were concerned about German U-boats getting into the Gulf and sinking ships around here, which they did. And there's a couple of pictures if you can see that. That's the big blimp hangar. So that's pretty cool. I don't think there's anything left of it, though. We can't go see it, but it would have been cool. And here's the signal flag. Who knows what that stands for? Don't look. Who knows what that stands for? The letter S. Sierra. Look, I'll show this just so you can figure it out if you can read. Yeah, they have a number of Jeeps in here, including this one. It's kind of like, if you remember with the G.I. Joes, they had the G.I. Joe Jeep, and they had a gun like this in the back. Actually, I don't remember if it fit in the back of the Jeep or the trailer, because there was a trailer that came with it. But the G.I. Joe one didn't have a cool slot in the windshield just so you could prop it up. You'd have to lay the windshield down to do that. But that's pretty awesome. There's another Army one. And there's the Marines. They got a little, I forgot what they call these things. It's like a little self-propelled wagon sort of deal. And I've seen these before. We saw one at another place, another museum. And it's like your feet kind of hang off into this little basket and you steer from right there, see where the guy's sitting. But this looks like an official Look Dat officer's cycle. If that doesn't say Look Dat, I don't know what does. But look that. That's like the fanciest little machine ever. I don't know if it's motorized. It's a bicycle and it's got pedals. But it's got that little box there. That's pretty fancy. Oh, I could do some Look Dat touring in there. All kind of things. I think that's a searchlight on there. These are some more modern Jeeps. Oh, I peeled out. Listen. Oh, it didn't do it again. Anyway. Yeah, searchlight trailer. Yeah, this is a whole different design here. Doesn't look like a regular Jeep like those. It definitely doesn't look like that. There's another one, a little more modern. And see, they put the slots sideways so you know it wasn't a regular Jeep. And this will set up to go in the water because it's got a pipe that comes out and goes up like that. So you could pretty much get water up to your neck while you were driving and maybe not kill the engine. Oh, and here's a cool little tracked vehicle. What is this? It's like a little miniature tank, and it's got little tings that you can shoot out all over. And you have to watch out, read these things so you don't hit your head on the gun. Boy, look at that. That'd be a fun little machine to ride around on. So yeah, on this one, up front, you got your machine gun, the little protection right there, and put your ammo box there, and feed them in, feed in your bullets, and you get your partner to drive it. He hangs on to those things and drives it like a zero turn, kinda. And there's some more ammo boxes, so when he runs out, the driver could grab it and pass it to him or something. But look upstairs here. It's the underside. Oh man, there's a secret hatch on the bottom. It's the underside of a helicopter. And there's a secret hatch. Let's see who's in there. I don't think I've ever seen one that showed that before. But apparently if you don't like somebody, you can just push them to the back and they fall through there and you say bye-bye. And then that's the dive bomber there. It's got a bomb actually diving out of it right toward us. Look out. Look out. Well, there's a guy. It's the whole crew. The gunner and the pilot and the co-pilot. And the fun thing about these helicopters is that they had these little bubbles so you could see, if you could get your big feet out the way, you could see what was coming at the ground. Yeah, there's lots of stuff to see and do and look at in here. This is pretty impressive. In Houma, Louisiana. Come and see this because it's pretty cool. And they're always getting new stuff, so that's pretty cool too. Don't go too far, everybody, because there's a second part to this exciting episode showing the Regional Military Museum, and we get to see some things that nobody ever gets to see. It's going to be a Look Dat exclusive.